Hi everyone, I'm Liz Anderson from Houghton Mifflin Harcourt, and I'm here today to talk to you about a few of our upcoming books that will be perfect for book clubs. So starting with Black Buck by Matteo Escarapour, I hope that you've all heard about this book already. We at HMH have been buzzing about it for months and months. It's a debut novel coming in January from an energetic, refreshing new voice, and it is a skewering takedown of corporate America. Our main character, Darren, is 22. He's unambitious despite having been the valedictorian of his high school. He's working at Starbucks in Midtown Manhattan when he meets Rhett Daniels, who is the CEO of a tech startup in the building. Darren impresses Rhett with his sales pitch for a more expensive coffee order, and then before Darren knows it, he's been offered a sales job with Rhett. He looks around at his new job and he very quickly realizes that he is the only Black person working for this company and that it is also very much like the worst kind of fraternity. But Darren decides to go along with it anyway, and he rises through the ranks and he adopts that New York City sales guy persona, alienating everyone in his life and becoming unrecognizable even to himself. And when he finally kind of comes to and sees what he's become, he hatches a plan to help other young people of color break into New York City's sales force and eventually into America's sales force. And even that plan has some disastrous and lasting effects. This is very much a satirical view of a way of life for America's workforce, and it explores ambition and race and makes room for a necessary new vision of the American dream. The author, Matteo, is so magnetic. He actually worked in sales for a long time, so he's lived this. And he's so great at virtual events. So please reach out if you are looking to have virtual author visits in the winter and the spring. And that goes for all of the books I'm going to talk about today. So next is Land of Big Numbers by Ping Chen. This is a collection of short stories coming in February about life in modern day China from a Wall Street Journal reporter who previously was a correspondent in Beijing and Hong Kong. The stories are a mix of realism and magical realism. And the really exciting part is that Ping's first published short story was published in The New Yorker, which is like unheard of. So to have The New Yorker be the place for your very first published work is amazing. And the story that they published actually opens this collection. It's called Lulu, and it's about twins who take radically different paths in life. One becomes a professional gamer, and the other becomes a political activist. Ping is such a gifted writer, and these stories are just a beautiful tribute to the messy, violent, magical place and people of China. Moving into March, we have Come Fly the World by Julia Cook. This is the story of the women of Pan Am who served as flight attendants, called stewardesses at the time, with the iconic Pan Am airline between 1966 and 1975. These women needed to have a college education, they needed to speak 2 languages, and they needed to be politically savvy, but they also needed to be between 5'3" and 5'9", between 105 and 140 pounds, and under 26 years of age. The author weaves together the real-life stories of a handful of these remarkable women and their roles in some of the biggest moments in American history. They were there for the Vietnam War. They helped in Operation Baby Lift, which evacuated 2,000 children during the fall of Saigon. So this is a really cinematic, glamorous, dangerous story of some incredible women who jumped at this chance to fly with Pan Am to change their lives, to get out of their towns. And in the vein of Hidden Figures and Code Girls, this is a book about the hidden history of women in America. Next is The Conductors by Nicole Glover, also out in March. And this is a debut novel by a new voice in fantasy fiction. Our heroine here is Hetty Rhodes. She's a magic user who was once a conductor on the Underground Railroad and who now solves crimes that white authorities won't touch in post-Civil War Philadelphia. And when she finds one of her friends dead, her investigation leads her to a web of secrets and lies among the elites of Black Philadelphia. And she has to confront some ugly truths about the world around her and also about herself. Nicole is beautifully using speculative fiction here to explore important historical and cultural ideas. And so if that kind of combo sounds like something your club would be into, I highly recommend this novel. So moving on to The Postscript Murders by Ellie Griffiths. You're hopefully already familiar with Ellie Griffiths. She writes 2 series here in the US, the Ruth Galloway Mysteries and the Magic Men Mysteries. She also wrote a standalone mystery last year called The Stranger Diaries, which won the Edgar Award. And so The Postscript Murders, which is the book I'm really talking about today, is her second standalone, although the detective from Stranger Diaries does appear here. And it follows the death of 90-year-old Peggy Smith, who it turns out was a murder consultant for many famous and successful crime writers, which means she gave them ideas for the murders in their books. So when she winds up dead, followed quickly by 2 other novelists that she had helped, we start to think there might be foul play. And the investigation leads to a literary festival in Scotland, and there are some amazing armchair detectives who are helping to solve the crimes. And so if you're in the book world, or even if you just love reading crime and mysteries, you will love this literary murder mystery. And the last book that I'm going to share with you today is called The Arsonist City by Hala Alian. Hala's debut novel, Salt Houses, came out in 2017, and it won the Arab American Book Award and the Dayton Literary Peace Prize. She's Palestinian American, and she writes these wonderful, complex, important novels about home place and identity and family. Her new novel, The Arsonist City, which comes out in March, is the story of the Nasser family who have returned to Lebanon from the US to sell their ancestral home in Beirut. The Nasser children, who are grown adults, but they have hidden secrets and sibling rivalries. They're first generation American, and their parents left Beirut in the 70s. So the return to Beirut, to a place changed by war, and with these simmering family secrets and dynamics, makes for a riveting story of family and how we often hide from the people who would actually understand us the most. I think that's a great book for me to end on. All of the books that I just talked about would be excellent picks for your book clubs. There's lots and lots to talk about, a lot of different kinds of books. And if you're interested in any of them, you can find more information as well as discussion questions. You can find more book club suggestions all on our website, hmhbooks.com. And you can find us on social at hmhbooks everywhere. I hope you and your families are safe and healthy, and thank you for listening. Bye.